Hello, my name is Jennifer Moulet, and I will be presenting my project on the mobster Bugsy Siegel for Gaming 225, Section 1001. So let's start off the beginning of his life. Bugsy was born in Brooklyn in the year 1905. Flash forward to year 1908, he is now an adult. He joins Meyer Linsky's gang, where they start off by stealing cars. So this is kind of where he dips his foot into the water and gets a good taste for, I guess, scamming. By his adulthood, he was credited for killing more than 30 men, which is interesting to note, especially by seeing this photo here, that he dresses well. His character is that he has a great charisma, is well known by many celebrities. So a lot of people almost didn't believe that he could kill all these people because of how well he presented himself and how other people wanted to be around him so much. In the year 1933, Bugsy is sent to LA to extort the movie industry. He was so good at what he did that he was able to make over $500,000 a day from the Hollywood movie industry. This made him the first Hollywood gangster, which, of course, due to his popularity, got to his head almost and made him feel more than what he was. Well, actually, I guess he was pretty good. He made $500,000 a day. So in the year 1941, the 1940s was a big part of his life. A lot happened during this time, so it's important that we remember this. He and Mo Setaway, another mobster, are sent to Las Vegas. So they come from LA to Las Vegas to open up race and sportsbook parlors. These are known as sportsbook, where people can come and wager on U.S. races. So this is what the races look like. And these are the telephones that they used. So to communicate who won in the race and to place the wagers, they had to go through a telegraph company that was owned by Al Capone, another famous mobster. And Al Capone trusted Bugsy Siegel to operate these telephone communications. So anytime someone wanted to place a wager, it had to go through Bugsy. Anytime they wanted to collect their money, it had to go through Bugsy. Anytime anyone wanted results for the wagers, they had to go through Bugsy. So if someone wanted to place a wager that wasn't on his good side, he'd probably just pocket the money and just say they never placed it, honestly, because there was never any bookkeeping, anything like that. It was just all corrupt. So here's just a little recap on the timeline. He's born in 1905, moves to LA in 1933, and then comes to Vegas in 1941. Important dates to remember for a test. So let's discuss the Flamingo. Finally, it's his time for the Flamingo. The Flamingo was this amazing, luxurious property on the Strip. It was advertised as the West's greatest resort hotel. So because they advertised it as the best, it got to Bugsy's head that he had to make this property the best, meaning it had to have the best flooring, the best protection, the best dealers, the best hotel. Everything had to be number one. You had to want to go to Las Vegas and only stay at the Flamingo. So Linsky forces Bugsy to work at the Flamingo. The reason he does this is because Wilkerson, the person who came up with the idea for the Flamingo, ran out of money, and he decided to go to the mob and ask the mob to invest in his hotel. Bugsy is sent to make sure that the mob's investment goes smoothly and the money is used correctly. But due to Bugsy's attitude and demeanor, he becomes immature and childish, so he doesn't get along with Wilkerson at all. They hate each other. So Bugsy, though, wanted to be taken serious. He wanted to be, pretty involved. So Linkerson allows him to be in charge of construction. He says, you know what? You do your thing in construction. I'll do my thing over here. So Wilkerson then realizes that he's a little upset about his decision because now he's divided the construction crews in half. Now, Linsky's team and Wilkerson's team and Bugsy's team are almost feuding against one another. They're not getting along, and this is not good for business. So Wilkerson decides he hates Bugsy even more by this first statement here. Bugsy blows through all the money in 1 month. He spent all the money on granite countertops, wooden floors, you name it. He spent it on the most expensive products that were available. Desperate, he asks Wilkerson for more money, and Wilkerson denies. He hopes that the mob can see that he spent all the money that he was given, his whole budget, in 1 month, and that they decide that he's the reason this isn't working out, and they drop him out. That didn't happen. The year, 1946, May. Bugsy convinces Linsky to make him in full control. And honestly, this probably happened because Wilkerson was just so, how do I put this? He was probably so emotionally beat up from all the abuse. So Linsky says, sure, you know what? We pretty much own it because it's all of our money in this. You can be in charge. So Wilkerson is now just a creative genius, nothing more than that. Bugsy, though, he wants more, and he somehow convinces Wilkerson at a 5% interest rate to give him everything and only allow Wilkerson to own 100% of the land. And Wilkerson figures, you know what, it's fine if I own 100% of the land, they still have to pay me rent, I still have involvement, this still has to go through because I own the land. So June 1946, 1 month later, Bugsy Siegel decides to form the Nevada Project Corporation of California. This means that Wilkerson is now only a shareholder. He has zero involvement in his initial investment, which sucks for him. And Bugsy decides to give his girlfriend Virginia Hill, who's famous Hollywood actress, the job of being the creative genius. So not only does he take his job away from him, pretty much takes the company away from him. It's pretty evil, if you ask me. And Wilkerson is now a hotel manager. That's his job, hotel manager. So November 1946, the mob requests from Bugsy some accounting and budget papers, some spreadsheets. And he has overspent all the money that he doesn't want to provide it, so he doesn't. And he needs the money, so what he does is he threatens Wilkerson. He says, you need to go take another loan for $600,000 in your name. And Wilkerson does it because he owns the land. And if the property didn't open, then he lost everything, his initial investment, and he's in debt to the mob, which is even worse. So he takes the loan, but the loan still isn't enough because Bugsy just overspends. So Bugsy then decides to scam. He starts selling fake shares of the Flamingo. And people are buying that because they're seeing how the Flamingo is advertised as the most luxurious resort. They're thinking it's going to be amazing, so they're wanting to invest. Wilkerson sees what he's doing by selling these fake shares, so he gets some advice from his lawyer. And his lawyer pretty much tells him that he's not safe and he needs to move somewhere else. Wilkerson moves to Europe in fear of his life and is not there for the opening. So December 26, 1946, Bugsy opens up the casino a year early. Now this is horrible because it was a slow season. It was a slow season in December. The hotel part was still under construction, and it was a holiday time. But he still opened up. The results were not good. The AC broke down, so it was cold in there. No one liked it in the desert. No celebrities came because there was no hotel, and the people that were in the hotel were complaining, the part that was ready actually, were complaining of how loud the construction was, so no one could sleep at night. So everyone that did come and gamble stayed in other hotels and gambled there after they were done gambling at the Flamingo. After 2 weeks, the Flamingo lost $275,000. So they had to close, and they reopened on March 4th, 1947. Oh, one more interesting fact to note is that because Bugsy spared no expense, the walls were bulletproof. They had tennis courts at this hotel. It was amazing. They even had riding stables. Like, this was top-notch luxury. So it's very important to note that this was it. This was the place at that time. So the reopening. So here's an example of them reopening. I'll kind of move this up more so you can see it's all brand new at the time, state-of-the-art slot machines. Look how busy the casino floor is. Everyone was so happy with the new table games. The wood so beautifully crafted, the bar, it was, yeah, this was the place. This was a good place to be. And here is a recap on the timeline that we're going to go through. So it was the first two that we discussed earlier. He gains full control in 1946, starts the Nevada Corporation. The Flamingo opens, it fails, then they reopen. And then let's continue to the rest. So the end of Bugsy Siegel. So Lucky Luciano was an investor in the Flamingo, and he was concerned for his investment, so he didn't invite Bugsy to a meeting that he had. Bugsy became concerned and decided to meet Luciano face to face. And in there, they discussed that Lucky was willing to let Bugsy pay off his debt to the mob by working for the telegraph company. But because of his ego being so high, he decided not to. And this is what got him in trouble. So, June 20th, 1947, Bugsy was found dead. They shot him. They? Who knows who they is? They never found out that it was the mob, but everyone knows it was the mob. He was shot dead in his house that Virginia Hill, his girlfriend, owned. And after that, the mob had discovered that he had oversold over 400,000 shares of the Flamingo. So he wasn't any good with the Flamingo or with the mob. So let's flash forward to the Flamingo today. This is what it looks like. Of course, so beautiful. Same original building, just a little bit, I guess, updated. So in the year 1950, the average room rate was $5.91. Flash forward to the year 2011, and the average room rate was $105. That's a 491% profit. So the investment they originally made, it paid off. The Flamingo is doing great, making amazing money. It's such a historic property, and it's right in the center of the Las Vegas Strip, so great location. The Flamingo now has a wildlife habitat where they have parrots, flamingos, turtles, Bugsy's bar, and they're even opening up a steakhouse. So I just want you to remember that Bugsy was a mobster. He had amazing charisma, but he also was credited for killing 30 people, so he wasn't the best.